Okay, put the camera on. I'm going to point at this code and it's going to allow us to download the app. Let's click download Google Play. Rolo install. Let's open the app. Accept terms of agreement. If you don't have an account, we'll click sign up at the bottom. Enter an email address and hit send, and it'll send us a verification code. Additional verification where you have to drag the piece of puzzle on top of the opening spot. We'll enter the one-time verification code. And on Android, it wants permission to set. When you're resetting it, you turn it over and take this little tool or paper clip. You're going to push it in this hole. Turn it on and hold it for 5 seconds.
EBO, hi. EBO.
Puta solo. Now that's reset. I'm going to add a device. I'm going to point that QR code at this.
Pop, 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 pop. Bingo!
Okay, got connected, found the Wi-Fi, robot found. Yay. You can see what it's looking at, turn off that camera. Now we can proceed to use it and configure it. Got the little guy underneath the hope chest over there. Let's make him come out. You press this joystick, just slide your fingers back and forth. You can see it going in circles. You don't have to lift up and go like that. You just slide where you want it to go. And you can change the speed. Let's make it faster. It makes the turns faster. Movement speed. So you got guidance on here. You can hit play mode. And a straight line just moves it. A big circle just spins it. A swing makes it rock. Okay, so that's what that does. You can take a photo, takes a photo, you can take a video, it started recording, and then when you hit video again, it'll stop recording. And you can do voice chat, turn on a microphone, trumpet. So there's two things. Hello. One is, I'm speaking into my phone microphone, it'll show up on its speaker. The second is, it has a speaker in there and it'll show up so I can hear it. So I can hear its noise, which is its motor sound, wheel sound. Okay, turn that off. Now in Discover mode, this is mostly a sales page where you can see different other products and advertisements. If you scroll it to the right, you can find some tutorials, some frequently asked questions and the different products. Here's more. Here's an Enabot SE. Has some okay information in there. On the bottom of the screen to mine, you can see I have me as a member and I added someone else as a member. If they have the app and register, you can allow them to control it also. There's a general settings tab, cache clearing, that's something goes wrong. You can set your language, you can set notifications. I already allowed that. Goes out to the Android to do that. Change your password. I'm not sure what use hard coding means. About app, it gives you a website, a hotline, and then you have, if you're going to order something, you can see something, a receipt show up here. That's under the Mine tab. Go back to home page. You can see up here there's a little robot. If you click it, that's where your notifications will show up. I'll show you what that means in a second. And then there's a settings button. Okay? In the settings button, let's do the About Robots first. It tells you the model name, serial number, a couple of other things, MAC address, what's on the SD card. You can generate a report. It gives you more detail. It takes a second for it to happen. There's a feedback tab where you can send manufacturer information about the device, the app, or other things. So it sends them an email. And then there's an EBO upgrade. If there's a new firmware, it'll show you here. I already upgraded this. And it will upgrade the firmware on the robot for you. You can upload logs to help out with customer service. Some kind of technical data helps solve problems. I guess if you have a defect and you're calling in, they may ask you to upload the logs. Let me go back. The EBO is not on the charging. Okay, to do the device report, you have to be docked. All right, let me go back here. That was about the device settings. You got a Wi-Fi. You've got the volume you can set. You want to make it louder. On it, hear it echo. Let me try that again. Go into volume, turn it all the way up. It's down, let me turn it all the way up to 100. Emotion indicator, sometimes when it docks, it makes a funny noise. You can turn that off. You just heard it. You can turn on a do not disturb, which means it'll still report movement notifications or whatever. It's just not going to bother you on the app for a period of time. That's separate from what I showed you, enabling notifications out on Android or iOS. And you can record video in H.265 or 264 mode. Okay, and then security, which is a good tab. You can create two types of security tracking plans. One is fixed location, which means it's just going to sit in its docking station, and in this case from midnight to 12 in the afternoon every day of the week, it's going to, anytime it sees movement, it's going to record and send a message to me. And you can set the areas you want it to set by moving, a little visible area around. And then at top, you can either do time triggered or motion triggered. And time triggered, it will do that, but only at certain periods of time. One thing you want to do, if you want to delete one of these, took me a while to find it, you hold this thing and slide it, and it'll delete it. Cruise security, for instance, if I wanted it to start at let's have it start at 3:35, it only goes for 3 minutes. And so at 3:35 today, time of my system, it'll go out and wander around for a little bit and go back. It's not much time. I don't know why it's only 3 minutes, but I'll save that. Oh, so you can't do that because it overlaps with the other schedule. So the schedules can't overlap at all. And in case of these two schedules, I have it from midnight to noon and noon to midnight to stay in its cradle and do motion detection. When you're setting the time, you have a start time, but then you have 1, 2, 4, 8, and 12 hours. It doesn't give you all the fidelity of the hours for some reason. And if you hit the wrench at the top, you have sensitivity, you have detection, and that's usually in motion detection when it's looking with its camera. If how much of the camera image changes, then that would say it's motion. So if it's very high sensitivity, it will trigger a lot of motion detection events. If it's low sensitivity, then a large part of the camera view has to change for you to get an event. Frequency to push, how often do you want messages pushed that it may have. It'll batch them up and send them every 1 minute or 10 minutes, or you can turn it off completely. So that's the scheduling you have. And that's pretty much it on the app. I'm going to drive it around a little bit. It's a camera. It's made to take videos or pictures, either automatically or manually, and then you can drive it around. It's not a full-blown security system. It also doesn't have support in it for tracking tags. I think one of the versions of these little robots by Enabot, you can put a tag on a dog or cat and it'll follow them around. And another one is basically a driving food can. It'll feed the animals. Okay, as I showed you, you can go into remote and drive this thing around. And then if you hit this little icon on the left with like an arrow,
I'm going home to charge.
It said, I'm going home. And it's going to go park in its cradle. You can see it underneath there. It's going to park in the cradle. And it should make a little noise. It parks in backwards, so the camera view you're seeing is, it's got a little infrared sensor coming out. It's going to back into the cradle. And you hear it make its sound. You get the video camera screen here. By the way, you can turn the camera off. Goes into sleep mode. It's still responding to commands. If I turn it back on, when it wakes up, it's ready to go. If I click on that screen, it goes full screen mode. And now, let's look at the operations. You see in the left bottom, I press, I'm going to drive it forward. And then you see the little forward and backward control on the left bottom. There's some up arrows. And that's the same operation on a small screen. It goes forward a little bit. The dial below it, it tilts, does a little tilt of itself. Go on the right side of the screen, you can go right or left. And back to the left to go straight. And then if you hit above on the right controls, little dial to the left, it spins in a circle. And I think this, yeah, okay, it stops. And if I hit that one with the A in it, that's going to make it go home. Okay, at the top of the screen, if I hit the camera icon, it took a picture, made a little click sound on the phone, saved it. If I hit the video, it's starting to record a little video. Camera again, it saves it. I hit the next icon. Now, as I'm talking to my phone, you can hear me talk in the phone. So I moved to the other room. You can hear it coming through. So now I turn it off. And it's off. I turn it back on again. It's on. Now the next one is I'm listening to its microphone. So if you want to have it record something, then I can hear it remotely. It's two directional. The next little icon on the top is what resolution you want, high resolution, which is 1080p, or medium or lower. If you're accessing this little device over the internet remotely, it'll be very jaggedy in terms of being able to see every frame in high resolution. So you can connect to it remotely and go in here and change it to low resolution and then drive the thing around. And I'm on the local network now, but you'll be able to see it a little bit better, a little bit smoother motion. So I'll leave that on low. If I hit the robot icon, it allows me to change the moving speed like I did before, and the chat volume on device settings. The steering panel allows me to change from single joystick control to double, where you're splitting out the advanced features. Oh, and you can switch them from right to left depending on which one you want. Auxiliary collision proof helps it avoid things. Otherwise it's going to bump and then turn around. I don't know what auxiliary view is. I don't know. I haven't figured that one out. And haptic feedback gives you some vibration on your device that you're accessing it from. There's a battery indicator, and then the little A on the right is what mode do you want the camera in, daylight, night, or automatic. And that's about it. When you want to go back to the main screen, top left corner, hit the back screen. Okay, and from here, next let me go back to the big screen again. I'm going to hit on the left bottom, that A with the circle, and it should find its way home. And if you notice, when it turns around and looks at its home base, not sure where it's going. And I'm going to go back here and hit the home button.
I'm going home to charge.
It is trying to go home. Yeah, so I know when it looks at its own camera, let me stop it and then bring it back this direction. You can tell it can see the infrared light blinking. So when it's sitting here, let me see if I go back to the big screen and hit that A.
I'm going home to charge.
You should see that home base blinking. Yep, see it blink. It's not visible. So I have moved it across the house and it can't find its way home. So I suppose it's all infrared and there's no beacon or anything for it to find its way. Okay, back home again. I'm going to just take it around the corner. See what it does. It's finding its way home. I'll just stop right there, hit the home button.
I'm going home to charge.
Yeah, so it's wandering off like a lost child, doesn't know where it's going. So if I bring it back with the app, make it come back here. And it will find itself. Hit the home button.
I'm going home to charge.
Okay, so I'm going to go into security, and I'm going to turn on this second motion sense. Show you what happens. If you want to walk toward me. Okay, I already got a notification. So I'm going to go back into here and then shut that off. And then when I go into photo, first of all, let's go click on this. See the notification. Motion was detected at 3:45. Okay, if I want to delete that, you have to hit that little brush in the top right. Oh no, slide it. Excuse me. Okay, if I go into photo, you see there's an album. So I can take a photo and take a video as I showed you before. If I click on album, you see three photos and 11 videos. If they have the little download symbol on them, like the top left, that means it's only stored in the SD card on the little device. It's not stored on my phone, so I have to download it to my phone. I look at the photos. There's 3 photos that I took when I was demonstrating it. Now here's the security ones that, actually those were from, some of them for last night. But here's one that just happened, so if I click on this top left one, it's going to attempt to download it. You can see. Okay, so it's down. I open it up. So now I can see
Okay, I already got a
walking back and
notification.
forth. And I
You want to walk back towards
heard the
door again?
notification on my phone show up too. So that's it's recording. I believe we're on medium resolution.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's where items are stored. Yeah, so that's the Enabot EBO SC robot. Showed you how to install the app, do a factory reset if needed, connecting your phone and app to the device, driving it around with the small screen or big screen, recording video and pictures, how to schedule security, either fixed location, taking pictures on some schedule, or some roaming limited to 3 minutes. How to find home, I think there might be some limitation that it has to be a line of sight to find it home, not sure. And then finally, how to access your media loaded to the device. We'll note that I was on a local network. This will work also over an internet because your device connects to some server so you can access it remotely.